Greetings, my name is Taylor Perry-Crawford, and I am currently working as a build research technician at Xavier University of Louisiana, and I recently collaborated with Dr. Mincey and Dr. Wadley in order to understand the sexual experiences of Black transgender women. Now, I became interested in wanting to understand the sexual experiences of Black transgender women after reviewing the research literature and likewise popular social media, and I found that Black transgender women are highly susceptible to sexually transmitted infections, and one of the reasons is due to health programs lacking the intersectional awareness of the risk and challenges that negatively affect the transgender population. So as a result, the purpose of the study is to understand the sexual experiences of Black transgender women in an effort to provide sexual education, resources, and inform health organizations of the need for expansive sexual health care. My method of understanding would utilize a mixed methodology, where participants would sign consent forms and as a result would complete both a quantitative and a qualitative aspect of the project. The quantitative aspect would include participants completing the Childhood Trauma Questionnaire, specifically the Sexual Abuse Subscale, and the LGBT People of Color Microaggressions Scale. Now, my reasonings for these two quantitative scales is that it is known within the research literature that conditions such as childhood sexual abuse is known to increase sexual risk behavior amongst trans women. In addition to, health disparities are often linked to stressful experiences of stigma and discrimination that accompany a minority social identity, thus influencing health behaviors. Once completed, participants also had to engage in a qualitative interview where themes were based off of the information, motivation, behavioral model of sexual risk behavior. And this model basically is founded on the principle that sexual risk reduction is a function based off of people's information about sexually transmitted infections, its transmission and prevention, in addition to the motivation to decrease sexually transmitted risk. And lastly, the behavioral skills needed to perform specific acts that are involved in risk reduction. And our results found that participants experienced low to moderate levels of sexual maltreatment with frequent microaggressive experiences associated with their identity. And from a thematic standpoint, participants found that accurate sexual health information is known to be associated with access to health professionals. In addition to motivation to change sexual risk behavior is concurrent with being viewed as a whole person, someone with similar relational values, and most importantly, relational disclosure in terms of sexual health and the number of partners. And lastly, in terms of from a behavioral aspect, participants were known to communicate and assert their values with a potential sexual partner. So in conclusion, Black trans women can reinforce sexual preventative measures with themselves and their partners. However, microaggressive experiences, low transgender resources, and relational dynamics can equally affect sexual decision making. So as a result, I believe that it is important that we should incorporate transgenders and their experiences into sexual education material, but most importantly, support trans women and trans men in exploring and understanding their sexuality and prompting discussions about sexuality disclosure and negotiating sexual situations.